Dead End Irony. First, introduce yourself.
If I'll start, my name is Vesa. I'm the lead singer.
Uh-huh.
I've been a part of this band like 3 years, 4 years or so, and I was very glad to join the guys because they've done brilliant work, and it was nice to jump in.
Cool, cool. And
Yeah, my name is Simo. I'm the founder of the one of the founders of the band, lead guitarist.
mhm, cool, cool. Now, this band started 2010, right?
Yeah.
Right. Did you release material in them early days or not really?
It was 2015 when the first EP, Moons That Never Heal, came out. So it took 5 years to put out music.
Wow, wow. So
Slowly starting.
how is the music scene in Finland
Now or then?
now?
Well, I'd say it's very the Finnish music that the lyrics are in Finnish is like dominating the whole scene.
Yeah.
Right,
The mainstream scene. We have a very strong metal scene here, but it's a bit underground at the moment. We have big festivals. For example, next weekend we have Tuska Festival. Last week Simo was at Iron Maiden concert that was like over 40,000 people, sold out Olympic Stadium. But basically, metal at the moment is a bit underground compared to the like years 2006 to 2000
Yeah.
and maybe 15 when metal was really big, or a bit earlier maybe. But it's a pop-oriented Finnish lyrics dominate the mainstream charts. But I'm not complaining because it's got a healthy situation for the metal music
yeah,
when it's a bit under the radar.
right, yeah,
Because there are a lot of great metal bands coming from Finland. Like I was just listening Blood Red Hourglass,
hmm
which is absolutely
Yeah.
brilliant band. But it's the type of music that we play, which is classic heavy metal. There's none to be mentioned at the moment here in Finland. That's kind of funny, and that's kind of the spot that we have here.
right, yeah. Wow. Your club scene, is it dominated by tribute bands?
Really, yeah. It's that, that I've been. The situation is a bit like in '60s or '70s.
Right,
There are a lot of cover bands playing like cover versions of Finnish
Yeah.
pop songs, rock songs, and I don't really get it because I'm always into like new
right,
compositions, new songs, new stuff. It
right.
may be like old-fashioned in sense of a style, but still new music is
Yeah.
is the thing that gets me going. And it's really amazing that so many like in the club scene there are like cover bands. It's funny that you should mention that because that's really the big problem at the moment here in Finland.
I don't think just in Finland. I think all over the world, actually.
Yeah.
Same here. Same here.
Really?
You know,
Okay.
I won't go, because I heard that stuff from the original people. I don't want to hear it again. The only thing good is the girls get drunk and you can pick somebody up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's for, I guess. Enjoy yourself, you know. But
Yeah.
I won't go to a show, a tribute show, unless my friends in the band and ask me to do something, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
not for me, you know.
And those tribute bands may be very good, like in a good, the quality of them is very good. I'm following like in TikTok, I'm following this Van Halen cover band, which is like a clone to Van Halen, but still I'd rather listen to the Raps from Canada,
Right,
which is Van Halen stylish, but still it's their original
Yeah.
songs.
Yeah.
right, right. Yeah. Tell me about the other members of the band.
Well, we have Antti Pekonen in the drums. He joined maybe a half year before you. And then we have Antti Vainio in the bass. He's also one of the founder members. We are the last ones with Antti. And then there's Kristian Valkama, who plays the rhythm guitar.
Uh, okay. Tell me how you got signed to Inverse.
Well, Inverse is like I wouldn't say a hub, but it's independent.
Publisher.
It's
Maybe.
a publisher, maybe,
Yeah.
and that tells a lot about the music scene. The physical albums in pop music, they don't sell at all here.
Right.
But Universe is signing a lot of like smaller and independent bands from metal genres. So it was very nice to have them work with us, even though we've done the most of the work we've done ourselves.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
And for example, the production is it was ready already before we got to work with Inverse, but it's easy to work with them and nothing bad about them.
Now, your album Battles and Brotherhood came out last month. Have you read any reviews?
I don't even remember the sites, but
Yeah, we had a few reviews, but I think they are coming in next weeks. But the feedback that we've gotten from the album is very positive.
yeah.
People knew what to expect, and people who didn't know anything about the band have been really amazed that somebody is still doing basic heavy metal, and that's been like a funny thing to notice that people are very delighted that they notice that this basic stuff is still being made.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. When I started hearing your vocals and stuff like that, it reminded me of a band a while ago, years ago, called Brutaliator, right? I don't know if they're from Sweden or wherever, but they're not American. But I really loved them, you know. And
Okay.
when I heard your voice on Fight, it reminded me of them, you know. So go check them out when you get a chance. Brutaliator, you know, and they're really good. Let's go down to some of the songs on your album. Let's start off with Fight. Tell me a little bit about that track.
It was when I started to produce and make the song. It was more like Iron Maiden style,
Mhm.
slowly starting to build up. But then we went to a studio, and Teemu said that let's do some things here and let's put it more in the tight package.
Mhm.
And there it came. It was cut down and glued back together, and now it is what it is. And it's a tight heavy metal track, I think.
Yeah, and the structure of the song is uh, it's more nice now, straight to the point.
Yeah.
But I love the galloping guitars on that song, and that's one element. Like the galloping guitars have been, there's been a long time that bands have been avoiding them.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
tinkling, tinkling, tinkling. At one point, they were like they had like a, I don't know, in a they were like the bands were avoiding them a
Yeah.
lot, and but on that song, because one like a slogan for us is to bring classic elements to a modern times and
Yeah.
modern sounds, and I really love the galloping
Yeah.
guitars because they're a big part of that song. And funny thing also is that the chorus comes in like a pretty
Yeah.
late in that song. That there's two verses, and then comes in the chorus. So the structure is uh, pretty interesting, and the Manowar type last chorus, it was really something that we had a ball doing it already at our rehearsal studio. So that was
Yeah.
really fun to make.
Wow. How hard is it for a new band to actually break into music and get known?
Oh, well, I would say it's pretty hard.
Uh-huh.
You have to do a lot of work and push yourself
Uh-huh.
boldly. Yeah, I think.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's and it's fighting against algorithms,
Yeah.
really, because like Spotify is the situation is pretty funny in that way, that people actually don't have, like, I woke up to the situation that I don't have a, only thing that I can play a CD is, I had to find it. It was old PlayStation,
Mhm. Right,
and
yeah.
people don't have any, any
Yeah.
devices anymore that they can
Mm.
play physical albums.
Right.
And then on the other hand, algorithms, people are and bands are fighting against algorithms, and their Spotify is very dominating at the moment.
Yeah.
We managed to get fights and all our singles. We've managed to get to the big playlists here in Finland, but it's a international corporation. So, for example, to get our song to American playlists,
Right.
that's almost impossible.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
even though I'm sure that there would be like a big audiences could be like in the United States for a classic heavy metal
Right.
like
Yeah.
us, but it's really there should be like a you remember the time that there were fanzines and
Right. Yeah.
trading.
Yep.
My prediction is that that time will come again in
Right.
some
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Wow.
people they will have contacts like this
Yeah.
and they will spread because Spotify algorithm is badly broken.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Actually, I'm was a staff photographer for a metal magazine called Metal Forces in the UK. And, that brought me a lot of attention and stuff like that. But you're talking about fanzine. I ran my own fanzine back in the 80s, but it was all about Kiss.
Yeah.
It was called Kiss Classics. And,
Yeah.
it was, we did 18 issues. And now I go, like, it don't mean nothing to me no more because it's over with, 15, 20, 30 years. And yet now I see we were selling for $2 a piece. I see them on eBay for $50.
Yeah.
You're kidding me. I should have kept them all,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I can imagine that to happen.
Right, yeah. So let's go to track number 2, Pat.
Well, that's really a tribute to the heavy metal, but also that's a tribute to the man himself.
Right,
I checked the movie and I was so inspired. It's such a crazy figure, but still classic warrior who thought that he was eternal
Yeah.
soldier,
right,
who
yeah.
thought that he was like an eternal spirit that was reborn again many times. And Simo had this crazy riff that was so simple that it made us laugh, and we were first that no, we cannot do this. That's so simple riff.
Right.
But Simo was pretty consistent with that riff, and
I was always sneaking in the rehearsal.
yeah.
Check this out. Da, 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 da.
And then we started it. It has to start like this. And then I had this idea, this piece of a chorus type of piece, and it just fell together. And the lyrics have been like modulated from the poem that General Patton wrote, "Eternal Soldier," but they've been like modulated for this song, and it's really tribute to the classic heavy metal anthems like "Balls to the Wall" or songs like that.
Yeah.
Simple, straightforward,
Cool.
Catchy.
catchy. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's go to track number 3, King of Emptiness.
King of Emptiness. I think it started like most of my songs from the main riff. Da, 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 then we played with Peksi. We were together.
The drummer.
Yeah, Peksi, his nickname. Yeah, we were in the rehearsal together and we just jamming and the bridge, the fast like it came together. And then I think you had the lyrics.
Yeah, there was
You
a
get a couple lyric ideas, and I listened to the song and listened to the lyrics, and these fit like a love. Let's try this.
Yeah. And there's a little bit of a like new wave of British heavy metal flavor to it. It's somehow reminds me of early 80s, like a British heavy metal songs, but still our producer Teemu Aalto brought very like a modern type of flavor to it also. It's yet again what a straightforward song to play. And then the lyrics are very anti-drug. It's like it's done from the point of view of the drugs,
Right.
singing to
Yeah.
the person who uses them.
Right, yeah. Definitely. Let's go to the next track, Day of Reckoning.
Well, that's straightforward modern thrash metal banger.
Right.
There's nothing much to it. There's a story of a man who lives on the edge and doesn't care that the Reaper is always on the lookout, riding a black horse. It's fun cliché banger, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you guys play a lot of live shows or not really?
We hope to play a lot more live shows. We've done a lot of work with this album, and but now when it's out, we hope to play a lot more live shows because the ones we've done now with these new songs, they work really well, and Day of Reckoning is one of the songs that worked really well, and now people are getting interested in our band. So we just played a few weeks ago a live show together with Finnish legends Valtari, and it went very well, and the audience is responding to the songs very well. That's why we're gonna play more gigs.
Good. Next track, Rise Up for the Light.
Well, that goes to the, I think, power metal department.
Right, yeah. Wow. Is power metal popular over by you?
I wouldn't say it's popular, but there's definitely a scene for that.
Right.
Yeah, but
Pop music.
the guys are like a power metal nerds.
Yeah.
Really, they listen to you know. I'm a bit older than them because I've seen Halloween, for example, first time in '88 with Mike Kiskan and Kai Hansen, five-piece band, and these youngsters have like got into power metal a lot later. And it's fault, but the power metal influences and power metal altogether is like in Finland, it's really popular. For example, Stratovarius is still in very good shape and
not like in the 90s.
Yeah, but still the Rise Up for the Light is like I've always said that there's like it's very German metal. It's like there's like and the chant part in the end, it's like a Bierstube kind of like a sing-along part in the end, and it's really trip. And the lyrics are about Star Wars. And how many bands you know that make lyrics about Star Wars?
Yep.
We ought to make more.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you ever get to see Halloween back in the day?
Yeah, I saw Halloween supporting Iron Maiden.
Wow.
88. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I photographed them on the Seven Keys tour. So, what about 89? I guess something like that, So they were great. They were great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they were great, but they are still that genre is popular here, but we don't want to like be part of that genre because it's a pretty tight genre.
Right. Yeah.
If you consider yourself a power metal band, or if you say it out loud,
then you get put in the one box, and
then you're box, and you ought to stay there.
Yeah.
But if you say that you play heavy metal, raised fist is what comes to people's minds. So it's a much nicer.
Yeah.
Box to be in.
Well, let's go to the next track, Gone.
Gone came from the bassist Antti Vainio. We were drinking coffee and hey, do you have guitar? And yeah, we want to show you something. Then can you get this? I think it's pretty straightforward. I can do this. And then it started to build up little by little, and then we thought it was ready, and we put it to Teemu, and Teemu bring his axe and
the producer
chop it to pieces. And I think the main idea stayed, but it would got more straightforward and straight to the idea of the song.
Yeah, and then it's once again it's very like the spirit of that song is I would say it's a tribute to the ones that were made in the 80s, but still there's like a very classic elements, and we wanted to do this little bit Udo Dirkschneiderish gnarl to the beginning, even though they are not my like a type of vocal range, but still we wanted to do that in the beginning, so it's kind of sets the mode.
Cool, cool, cool. How about Catch My Soul?
I think Catch My Soul was. We were together in the rehearsal. I started to play the riff, and then you said you have lyrics for it, and I think it was really easy to make that song.
Yeah, yeah, and it's very dark story. It tells a story of Second World War German prisoner of war um, who is somewhere in the prisoner camps in Russia, and he is singing to his son who he never met, and they're singing to each other. It's very dark, a
Hmm.
very dark story, but it's been really touching to play that live because people
Yeah,
have been very moved
yeah,
Hmm.
to hear that, and it's a very powerful. And there's also, I'd say, there's a if you know Finnish metal band that was like 10 years ago sentenced.
Hmm.
There's like a
yes,
bit
tiny hint of them.
hint
Yeah,
of sentence in there, so it's like a there's very like a Finnish type of melancholy
yeah.
in that song.
Cool, cool, cool. And the last track, Razor Gods.
Well, I think the name that we call it sums it together. Epic shit. Before it came Razor Cards.
Right.
It's uh, it's a giant of a song, I think.
Yeah, it's I've never been as proud of any song as I am of Razor Gods because I've always been a huge fan of like songs like Rime of the Ancient Mariner or Halloween or Keeper of the Seven Keys or
Yeah.
big
Right.
epic songs that are like journeys. And it was almost ready when I joined the band, and I was like purely amazed at this is like pure gold, and it's really like it has many parts, but it's very logic story. And it was funny that we when I joined in, we did a few
Mm.
arrangements to the vocal lines in the beginning that it got more like melodic power to it. But it was interesting that the producer Teemu, that was the only song that he didn't have like any like arrangement ideas to it. Or then he he just didn't want to open the Pandora's box, but
Yeah.
but it's
We
really
would have
really
stayed another week in the studio.
yeah, but it's really strong song to play live because when we played that live, it's interesting to see that people are like just like staring because
Hmm.
the story of two brothers that truly hate each other, one is on the dark side, one is on the lighter side. Uh, it's so strong. The story is so strong that people sense it, and after the last part comes along, the battle is over, and bodies lay on the battleground. It's and the smoke clears. It's I get goosebumps every time we play it. It's really impressive song to play, and I definitely, if talking about the stuff that we're gonna make in the future, definitely we have elements and ideas to
Mm.
make a like a not part two, but another song like that because band really is on fire when they play that. It's when I heard it first time when they played it, I was like totally blown away.
What's your feeling about the world, the way everything's happening all of a sudden, and you have any feelings towards that, like with United States or any other country?
You mean about the situation in the world
Yeah,
nowadays?
right now.
Uh, yeah. Well, you might see the shirt that I'm wearing.
Hmm.
I didn't put it on for the interview. It's been on all the time. Um, it's my regular stuff that I'm wearing. Um, I must say that I'm a bit worried of what's happening now and all around the globe. But it used to be that the war started between when Russia brutally attacked Ukraine. Before that, we have COVID. We had, and now what's happening in between USA and Iran, Israel. what's going to happen with China and Taiwan. There are so many question marks
Hmm.
now that we got to stick together.
Yeah.
Just have to like. I visited New York last week, and I was so delighted to talk to the people, have conversations with people, and realize that we are just the same no matter where we live.
Right,
I truly believe that dictator Putin is one thing, but there are good people in every country, and
right,
we just have to stop this because
Yeah.
for the generations to come, I don't want to be the generation who fucks this up,
right.
really.
Hmm.
And I'm a bit worried, but I still try. It was very nice to talk to the people in New York because very heartwarming discussions, and people are worried also there in the same way that we are, and about the same things. Electric bills are
Yeah,
rising, food is more expensive, everything is more expensive, a war is going on. We need peace and we
hmm,
need heavy metal.
Yeah.
right, yeah. Okay. Do you are you happy about you actually bring joy to people through your music? How does that make you feel?
Well, it feels great. That's
Yeah,
what
I
we are here to do.
Yeah,
Create emotions, and
yeah, exactly,
that's
and
what this business is all about.
yeah, and we don't want to mix politics to
Yeah.
our music. Really,
right,
we want to give people like a good Star Wars movie. It's like
right,
it's fantasy, it's amusement, it's dark moments, but still it brings you joy to your life,
Yeah.
and that's like when I was a kid. You have to remember that when I was a kid, it was no accident that, for example, Iron Maiden had a song like 2 Minutes to Midnight.
Mm.
right,
The situation in the mid 80s before Reagan and Gorbachev found each other, the situation was almost like it's
Mm.
at this moment.
right,
And back in that day, music brought me a lot of joy, and I'm sure that it will bring joy to the people. And uh, one friend asked me that Patton is that like pro-war song. No, it's not a pro-war song.
right,
Patton, General Patton was a very tragic figure.
right, yeah,
It's not a pro-war. Uh, on contrary, it's anti-war
right,
song. Well, in the same vein that King of Emptiness is anti-drugs, very strongly anti-drug song.
right, yeah. Um, like when somebody asks for your autograph and they're so excited just to meet you and like get an autograph or a picture, what's that feeling like?
I don't know how to describe that feeling.
Yeah, it's
I get what's the word I would use? I'm not used to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a privilege.
Yeah, privilege.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, because there's been times that the contacts have been like a COVID was a really bad time in many ways, and now when we got the album out and you can talk with somebody who just bought the album, it
right,
really feels great.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like a because there were so many hours and days that we were at the rehearsal studio, banging our heads
Mm.
together, arguing about little things, bigger things,
uh,
and it just kept getting ready, and that's why the album is called Battles and Brotherhood, because what it took was
right,
battles and brotherhood.
Yeah.
cool, cool. Once people get a little bit used to the album, are you already working on new material too?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we just before the interview, I just played Simo
Uh-huh.
few instrumental parts that I've made just that because he has the vision, and the most of the songs are from his guitar and his mind, but still. And we had few leftover songs that were left out of this album, not because they were bad, because we wanted to make classic about 42-minute album. We didn't
Right,
want to make like a 73-minute album like too many bands make nowadays. We wanted to make like a classic
right,
album like in the vein of Peace of Mind or
Mm.
Number of the Beast.
right,
Um, but we have material coming up, and the feedback that we've gotten now of Battles and Brotherhood is encouraging us I think.
We are on the right track.
We're on the right track and continue. I've always, as a teenager, I hated when bands made a great album and the next album was totally shit.
True. Happens.
Why?
Let's not do that.
Why they made that change?
Yeah.
There are like Metallica's first 5 albums. It's a different band in each album. That's a different thing. But if you have a good chemistry, you better use it again.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. So what are your hopes for this album?
What everybody wants. To everybody to hear it.
Yeah, we kind of want to, because first of all, we want to thank you for this interview. We hope that as many people as possible will hear that, and we want to fight against the algorithm because when I was in like on a holiday in New York City, I saw a lot of like teenagers with the metal T-shirts and bands.
Right.
But the algorithm is like the devil that is like making boundaries between audience and bands, and we really want to make we really want that as many as possible people will hear this album, because that's really what, because this is so basic stuff, and I'm sure, because when I go through bands, go through music, this type of classic heavy metal is not being made, like I mentioned.
Definitely.
That's why there really is a spot for us.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, it was great talking to you, and I appreciate the chat. Would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Heavy metal is coming home.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Do you know where that originates?
No.
That was like when England hosted the Euro Cup of football. And I mean the real football that you kick with your feet, not the this shape of football. They had a slogan that football is coming home.
Cool.
It never came, but now our idea is that heavy metal is coming home. The metal has gone in so many subgenres that it's time for somebody to bring it back home, and that's what we're doing. And we hope that you. New audiences and kids will find Battles and Brotherhood and Dead and Irony, because heavy metal is really coming home. It's not dead. It's not gone. It's coming home.
Cool. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.